Welcome to our online info session for Ashton College's Change Management Certification course. We're happy to have you joining us, whether it's through our Zoom webinar, our live Facebook stream, or our on-demand YouTube video. Welcome to you all. I'm Jake Cressy from Ashton's Marketing and Communications Department. I'm joined today by Maggie from the Admission Department, Rika, who will be working in the background, and of course, our Change Management Certification course instructor, Mumtaz. Mumtaz, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Jake. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to get started on this conversation, but first thing, just a little bit of housekeeping. We'll be having an open Q&A section near the end of this live stream where you can submit your questions to be answered live. If you're with us on Zoom, you can use the raise hand function or simply type your question into the chat box. If you're on Facebook, you can write your questions in the comments section, and we'll be sure to take a look at them there. If you have a very specific question or we don't get around to answering it during this session, you can email us at ceinfo@ashtoncollege.ca, or you can call us at 604-891-1256, or our toll-free number, which is 1-866-759-6006. Now, to start this off, I always like to ask if you can share with us a little bit about your experience, your educational background, and what brought you to teaching with Ashton College.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jake. So I'm a change management consultant, firm owner, and leader, and I've been doing change management work for nearly 15 years now. So working as a consultant on-site generally, or whether remotely, virtually, or physically on-site with clients as they're going through large-scale change and transformation. And a large part of my work is upskilling people in the skills to lead and manage through change. And that's what really drew me to the education aspect of what I do. I have a Bachelor of Science from the University of Calgary, where I'm originally from. Although I live here in Vancouver now, I did live in Calgary for a little while. And that's where I started my career as well. So a large part of the first part of my career was in energy and oil and gas, coming from Calgary. And then since I've been in Vancouver, I've worked in mining, machinery, financial services, retail, a whole variety of sectors. So I bring that industry-wide breadth and depth of knowledge into the classroom, and with my experience at Ashton College. So what brought me to teaching at Ashton is that the opportunity to impact a professional's life and career. I'm very in line with the vision and mission at Ashton, and I want to be able to contribute to someone's professional and individual growth and help them prepare for the future of work, which is what this change management course will help you to do.
Wow, that's excellent. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the course, first, it might be nice to have just a simple definition of what is change management.
Yeah. So change management, the textbook definition of it, is the practice of applying a structured approach to transition an organization, its people, its teams, groups, and departments from a current state to a future state to achieve some expected outcome or benefits or results. So we know that organizations don't change, people do. So change management focuses on the people side of the equation. You can make all the structural and technical changes that you need to make change happen, but if people don't embrace it, adopt it, use it, integrate it in their day-to-day lives, it's never going to be successful. So that's the focus of change management, is bringing people along that journey so they can make that change way more successful.
Excellent. And so the course outline actually does mention some bits about change with people. Particularly, it mentions 3 levels of change. That's the individual, organizational, and enterprise levels. Are you able to give us some examples of these changes and how a change management professional might have to work with these situations?
Yeah, so if we talk about change at an individual level, that could be, say, you've got a new team lead or manager, you're adjusting to a new system in your department, you got a new iPhone. That's change at an individual level that you need to manage. Managing change at an organization level are changes, things to business processes, to policies, to systems to do work, collaboration systems. It's that project-based change. So change that's introduced via projects, which normally professionals and working professionals see when they're obviously working within organizations. Change at an enterprise level takes it to the next level. So it goes beyond that project by project or sort of discrete change events in an organization and within a company, and it brings it up to the entire company. So this is changes like at a value system, culture level, changing everything whole scale across the enterprise. It includes examples like creating a culture of change within an organization or a muscle for change. So you have to be kind of mindful of those three levels of change as you're approaching change in organizations, both for you personally and for the company.
Okay, now you did mention in the organizational level projects, and the course overview also mentions project management. Can you outline the similarities and differences between these two areas of management?
Yeah, so both I would say are necessary and needed um, disciplines within the workplace. They bring us structure to what we do, and it's a structure for implementing change successfully at both that organizational level, but also at that enterprise level that we talked about before. Both disciplines, they're the same in that they both have a book of knowledge and a set of practices. There's a standard way and models and tools that you use to do both. They both work together to achieve successful change. You can't have successful change without both change management and project management. You need people and teams devoted to the technical side of change, and the structural side of change, and you also need people and teams devoted to the people side of the change. So both need to work together in harmony. Project management is different in that it works to ensure that the solution, whatever the change is that it's designed, developed, and delivered effectively. So if it's a new system, for example, it's getting that system up and running, configured, customized, everything that needs to be done to get that system up and running and live, per se. Change management is different in that it works to ensure that that system, that tool, that process, that policy, set of policies is actually adopted, integrated, and used, that people understand why we're undertaking this change that we're undertaking and doing. They understand what we're trying to achieve, the vision for this change. They understand how they're impacted in their day-to-day work and know what to do to changes in their behavior and their performance that they need to make that change successful. So that's how the two are different. Project management focuses on the technical aspects of the change, whereas change management focuses on the people side of it and the people aspects of the change.
Okay, so would an individual be able to fulfill the roles of both a project manager and a change manager, or would that be too much responsibility or too messy? Is it better to have two individuals working together on that?
You can see, I have seen sometimes those two roles combined within an organization. It depends on the scope and scale and nature of the change that you're making. Ideally, you want either two different people or two even different teams looking at those two aspects. They're two different skill sets altogether, I would say. So project management and project managers generally are more technical. They get into the weeds around the solution, how it needs to be designed, how it needs to be developed, the business processes that need to be mapped inside of it. Whereas change managers are very people and organizationally focused. Okay, how do people work and tick? What are the things that we need to do to influence people, to communicate effectively with people? What are the HR systems and organizational design aspects we need to kind of keep a pulse on? So they're usually complementary disciplines, but distinct skill sets that generally come in different individuals.
Right. So coming back to this course, are there any prerequisites for this course? Who should enroll in this?
So there are no academic prerequisites for this course. You can enroll, going through the Ashton website for that. And I would say that this course is beneficial for working experienced professionals, for those who are leading, managing, and supporting organizational change, people like project managers, line of business leaders, people in leadership positions, managers, business analysts, independent consultants. So people who have had experience and are experienced professionals and are working currently. And it's also for those who want to earn their designation in change management and work towards what's called their CCMP, or Certified Change Management Professional designation. So much like for project management professionals, they have a PMP, or Project Management Professional designation. Change management professionals have a similar designation. So letters behind your name that you can earn through experience, through education, through applying your knowledge to really certify your career.
Right. And so this course is actually accredited by the Association of Change Management Professionals, or the ACMP, who manages that certification, the CCMP. Can you tell us a bit more about that organization and what their accreditation means for this course?
Yeah, so the ACMP, or Association of Change Management Professionals, is the governing or regulating body for the profession. They're the professional organization or association. And so they govern the standard for change management, what's called the standard, which is the book of knowledge that change management professionals draw on to do their work and to do it best. And so in order to fulfill their requirements from a governing perspective, Ashton College did go through the process to become what's called a QEP, a Qualified Education Provider. So this is a course that's recognized and certified by ACMP and helps you earn your designation as a result that is awarded by ACMP.
Okay, and is the CCMP designation the only designation for change management professionals, or are there other credentials that can be earned in this field?
So the CCMP is the only designation. There are certifications that you can earn in change management that are a little bit different. So certifications are largely for people who want to gain some knowledge in change management, sort of break into the field. They'll typically focus on a single model or set of tools or a methodology within change management, things such as ProSci. They're well known in the change management industry as a training and certification body. But the difference with what Ashton is offering here with this ACMP course, an ACMP accredited course, is that you can earn your designation, the letters behind your name, to certify that you understand and can effectively apply the skills within the book of knowledge, or the ACMP standard for change management. So it's really for those people who have earned the experience requirements and fulfilled the experience requirements and other requirements to get their designation. So it's a little bit, I would say, held higher in the industry because it's a designation. So it helps you stand apart. It's a newer designation. It's not like the PMP that's been around for a while. The CCMP only came out in the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years. And so you will have a competitive advantage in the industry having earned this designation. It'll help you stand out for jobs and opportunities because there are very few people who have earned the designation so far. I'm only in the first 500 that earned it so far. And I think maybe they've got to 1,000 people globally so far with earning that designation. So it is an up and coming designation and opportunity that you might consider pursuing.
Right. So as I understand it, there are 2 major qualifications that you need to earn your CCMP. One of them is a training requirement, 21 hours of
Yes.
training, which this course fulfills. And the other is an experience requirement. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I don't know the exact experience requirement for that, the number of hours, but yes, you do need to have demonstrated experience working as, not per se with the title of change management, but working within a change project or initiative. So to earn your designation, you need to fulfill those experience hours, and those are all listed out on the ACMP website.
Right. Now, getting back to the course here, what is the general structure of this course? What methods are you going to be using to teach the subject?
So this is a 21-hour live online course. It starts on February 2nd, 2021. It's the first time it's being offered by Ashton. So as far as the course structure, students need to devote at least 3 hours per week to attend live webinars that I'll be teaching and leading. That'll be held on Tuesdays from 5 to 8 p.m. in Pacific time or West Coast time. Outside of live webinars, students will be expected to take part in various independent and group activities like assignments and assessments and such. And all of this is going to be delivered via an online platform called Schoology, where you'll get your assignments, you'll chat and connect with others in the class. So it's all live online, offering that flexibility for people to take it from wherever they are.
Right. And so how much time should students be expecting to put in outside of the regular webinar sessions? How much time on assignments, studying, things like that?
So I think it really depends on how much you want to get out of it. You will be spending time, as you mentioned, outside of class, reading, doing assignments, working with others. So I would estimate probably about 1 to 3 hours outside of the class time to do that work.
Okay, and then the nature of these assignments and working with other, what kind of exercises can we expect there? Is it written, or should people be proficient writers to take this course? What are they going to actually do?
Probably a good mix of writing and perhaps some oral assignments, group assignments, working with teams to, create tools, things like a stakeholder analysis or present back a change management plan. So there'll be different ways in which you'll engage with the course content. And my hope and wish for people who take this program and successfully complete it is that they're fully ready to then go and apply for their CCMP and earn their designation successfully. So they've been able to understand all the concepts, skills and knowledge they need to pass their exam and get that.
Mm. What can you tell us about the CCMP exam? Is it multiple choice, long form? What should people expect?
It's a multiple choice exam, and I can't remember the number of questions, but there's resources available on the ACMP website about all the details around the exam, but it's all multiple choice. You schedule it on your own time, and it's all based on what's called the standard for change management, as well as a code of ethics for the profession. So you do have to study both. They have lots of study resources available online, even study groups. They host webinars and coaching calls to help you earn that. So there's lots of help and support available. And I'll share more in the course as well as to how kind of the next steps beyond this course, if that's
Right.
your path, you want to earn that designation.
Excellent. Now, can you tell us a bit about the textbook required for this course?
Yeah, so the textbook for this course is called Making Sense of Change Management, and it's by Esther Cameron and Mike Green. It's a best-selling textbook in the field of change management. It's well known and well accredited, and it really provides a thorough overview of the theory of change management. It's funny, it's a discipline that was born in the 1960s, so it's been around for a while. So it'll kind of talk you through that history and progression. It shares the models, some of the common models of change management, the tools and techniques of successful change management professionals. It has international case studies and examples. It's got a new chapter on the interrelationship between project management and change management, which is really great. And it covers new and emerging approaches and practices like Agile. So a lot of change management professionals that I talked to today and project management professionals are implementing Agile and Lean approaches to the way they implement change. So the text also covers that.
Excellent. So some people might be hesitant to enroll in an online class. Traditionally, we're all more used to the physical in-person format. What advantages does the online class format offer?
Well, I think first and foremost, the flexibility. I mean, you can take the course from anywhere and everywhere as long as you've got an internet connected device. You can log in and participate in the live online, regularly scheduled classes for the course. Plus, then the outside of that regularly scheduled class, the chat, the collaboration, the downloading of additional resources, all of that flexibility that's offered via that. It also offers this self-paced. So you do have to be sort of a self-driven, organized individual to do this, but it offers you that ability to self-pace your learning. And it also improves, I mean, in today's day and age, during a global pandemic, we're all having to work from home and online. So it helps you improve those skills in online communication and collaboration, and even helps you get a broader global perspective, because you never know, you might have people in your class from places all over the world. So it helps you to cultivate that broader global perspective as well.
Right. And so you've mentioned that people are able to discuss through the Schoology app outside of the class. During the class, is there options for interactions?
Yeah, there will be. So I'm a highly interactive instructor, so I tend to focus less on lecture and more on some discussion and Q&A. So you'll hear a lot from me about my personal experiences. So not just the theory from the textbook, but how that applies in real life. And so we'll interact a lot during our regularly scheduled classes, but also outside of that, there's a chat box and function and feature available in Schoology that you can use to chat with others in the class, access academic content via that platform. You can post questions, which I can answer for you outside of the regularly scheduled class. So there'll be lots of opportunity to engage and interact in what works best for you as a working professional.
Excellent. Now, after completing this course, how can students continue to build on the skills they've learned throughout the course?
Yeah, so I'm really hoping at the end of this course that people are sort of ready to apply everything they've learned in their day-to-day work. Leading change is one of those skills that came out in a Gartner report recently. That's one of the top skills that leaders of the future will need to be successful. So my hope and wish is that right after the course, you can apply everything you've learned in your day-to-day job and be able to lead and not just survive, but thrive in change going forward.
Right. And so you've mentioned this sort of in your own background, but there is quite a few industries that demand change management professionals. Have you noticed that any specific industry where they're in higher demand than others at the moment?
No, I think every industry is undergoing change right now. So there isn't really one industry that stands out. I mean, even in my own experience, I've been almost every industry and they all experience enormous amounts of change. So it's a very high in demand skill at the moment, and probably will continue to be in future. I mean, look at how much change we just had to navigate in the last 9-10 months with the pandemic, right? And there's only more coming. So it's a skill that will certainly help you in every aspect of your life and career. So it's not, I would say it's not a industry specific in demand skill.
Right.
Apply it in every industry, in every context.
Okay. So is and not even a difference in demand between, say, bigger businesses and small businesses?
No, what would I say there? My work has largely been in large enterprise. So large enterprise, certainly they have the ability to change faster and more quickly. But small businesses are certainly not immune to change. They've had to rapidly change, of course, in the past 9-10 months with the pandemic. Small businesses like restaurants and retail and banking all had to quickly pivot and adapt their operations to be able to continue to survive, right, and do business. So they had to change and they had to manage through that change. And there's some legacy things coming out of that they still have to manage. And that's where change management professionals come in. Government is also making a lot of change right now. Specifically the government of Canada is going to be introducing, an immense amount of change. So I'm seeing demand from almost every angle, whether you're in small business or large, whether you're in private sector or public sector. There is demand for people who are ready and willing to embrace and lead through change across the board.
Right. Now, of course, you've touched several times on the pandemic, which may be one of the biggest changes in every industry recently. But during your time
Yeah.
in the industry, aside from that, what large changes have you seen?
Yeah, so I've largely seen technology driven change. So change management, it's funny, a discipline, it was born in the 1960s, and it was a discipline that was born in HR, human resources, and OD, or organizational development. But I would say it's sort of incubated within IT because of the acceleration of technology and digital transformation over the past decade. So largely the change that I've seen and experienced has been driven by technology. So things like new collaboration systems like Microsoft Office and Teams, new enterprise resource planning systems such as Oracle PeopleSoft or SAP or JD Edwards, like all these big enterprise systems, new customer relationship management systems or customer facing tools and technology, e-commerce, right? So this is all, the backbone of all of that is technology. And so I think, you know, the changes that I've seen, and I think that are going to continue to be the driving force for change for business is going to be technology.
Right. Now, with that in mind, in the future, do you see any immediate technology changes coming down the line? Is there some form of tech that is continuing to influence change management at the moment?
So the clients that we're working with right now are doing a lot of changes to their infrastructure and how they deploy technology using things like cloud technologies to support all of their technology and business systems across their company. So cloud is a big change and driving factor right now. Artificial intelligence and automation and AI and robotic process automation are also big technologies affecting a lot of industries. Industries like banking, for example, are being quite heavily disrupted by that right now. Yeah, and so there's, I think, largely in technology, I'm not a technology expert, but largely when I'm brought in, it's because there is some disruptive force within the technology realm, be it artificial intelligence, be it automation, be it digitization of business processes, be it some new e-commerce tool, you know, new Uber for the enterprise, right? All of these things are really affecting business right now.
Right. And so this does raise the question. You, of course, just said you're not a tech expert yourself. How familiar do people need to be with technology to be able to manage situations in change management?
That's kind of funny because, you know, I'm involved in all these technology change projects, but I'm not necessarily the technology expert. So I usually work quite closely with technology teams to understand how does that technology impact people. So that's what you need to do as a good change manager, a change management professional, is not, you don't need to get into the weeds and understand the nuts and bolts of the technology itself and how it works. You don't have to be like a highly technical person. What you need to understand is how that technology impacts business. So it's about asking the right questions, right? Who uses this technology? Who might use this technology? How does this change their day-to-day work? What are the behavioral changes they need to make to embrace and adopt and use this technology? So you don't need to be a technology expert to work in the change management field. Sometimes it can be helpful, and having that background is certainly helpful to understand how technology projects and implementations work and feel. But for the most part, you don't need to be an expert in technology to be a successful change management professional.
Excellent. Now, aside from a knowledge of change management principles and practices, what other knowledge or skills are important in this field?
So you need to have strong communication and influencing skills. You need to, because you're working with people at different levels of an organization, you need to be able to relate to an executive or senior leader, as well as a frontline employee, to be able to convey, you know, the what and the why behind change. You need to work with leadership very closely to coach them. So coaching skills is probably another one that you can add to the roster, because you need to coach leaders in their role as change sponsors or advocates or leaders, and what they need to be doing to lead through change successfully. You need to be, I would say, thick-skinned because you're dealing with a lot of emotion during change. So you need to be able to sort of compartmentalize that from what you're trying to do and be able to work effectively with people to, again, coach them through that change and transition process and the impacts for them personally, and help them to, understand why making this change is good for them and good for the business. And I would say you need to have a results-based focus. So the ability to take the theory and practically apply it and help that business get to the results and the outcomes and the benefits they hope to achieve. So maybe it's that analytical skill or skill set that I'm trying to describe here. But that ability to take, okay, this is what you want to do, this is where you want to go. Let's build a plan and a strategy and a set of actions to get you there. So it's that analytics, analysis type of skill set and planning skill set, I guess, that is also beneficial to be a successful change management professional.
Right. So when people have completed this course and they're skilled in change management, what kind of job opportunities can they expect as a change management professional?
Yeah, so because change management is, becoming pretty well known and widely recognized, you can apply and be part of internal teams for change management. It could be a change management team where you have the title of change management specialist or leader or manager potentially. You see this a lot, especially on the government or public sector side in healthcare. And big public sector organizations will have an internal team, so you can explore opportunities to work internally like that. Or you can work externally as a consultant in change management and work with different organizations as they're going through change. So if you want to pursue a career in independent consulting, you want to join a big firm like Accenture or PricewaterhouseCoopers, Deloitte, or EY, they all have change management arms and practices that are always looking for professionals who are able to succeed in this field. So yeah, you can either go in-house, what's called in-house, and inside an organization and work internally to influence and lead through change, or you can be external and consult to different industries, different business contexts, work within a big firm, small firm, boutique firm, or work independently even in this field. So there's lots of career opportunities out there for change management professionals.
That's excellent. So what are some of the biggest challenges people face in this line of work?
What are some of the biggest challenges? I think going back to that ability to compartmentalize. So change is emotional work. It's messy work. We call it the mucky middle, right? When you're working in the middle of an organization trying to transition from a current state to a future state. So, you can come up against difficult groups of stakeholders sometimes, challenging environments and cultures. So all of that, I think helps make you a better individual overall, because you've developed resiliency, you develop really keen leadership and communication skills, and you really, develop the ability to just kind of live and work above the fray per se, right? And be able to manage through difficult situations. So although some people may characterize them as challenges, I see them as opportunities to grow personally and individually.
Right. It's part of that change management mindset, right?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. So how do you stay relevant in this field? Is there any information sources you'd recommend for students or any people in this field?
Yeah, so if you are looking to earn your CCMP, you do have to maintain it. So after you earn it by passing the exam, by earning your education requirements, fulfilling the experience requirements, you do have to maintain it. So there are, you have to continuously prove that you are applying those skills and knowledge, that you continue to, work in that field or within that profession. And so you can stay relevant by just continuing to read up on what's happening in the field, in the industry, get connected with the ACMP and with the network, they typically have local bodies and professional organizations that you can join and attend events for and things like that. And that's what I regularly do. I'm part of our local ACMP chapter here, and regularly participate in their events. I host events for them as well. So there's many ways that you can participate and stay relevant in this field. There's also ton of conferences. ACMP does a global change management conference every year where they bring change management professionals from all over the world together to continue to build best practices, build skills and knowledge, network. So there's tons of ways that you can continue to stay relevant in the field of change management.
That's good to hear. Now, there are a lot of educational paths out there. The ACMP has an entire list of qualified education providers. So why should students choose to take this course with Ashton College rather than any of those other qualified education providers?
Yeah, so this course is very focused on helping you earn your CCMP, right? So it's helping you to earn that designation so you're career ready and you can really stand out in the change management industry and field. It fulfills that 21-hour training requirement, the instructional hours you need to earn your designation. And so it's a really, efficient way to earn that and get the practical skills and knowledge you need to apply this right away. So you'll be career ready with this course, and you'll make some really great connections as well, being part of the students and alumni at Ashton College.
Fantastic. Now we're going to open the floor to questions from the audience, but before we do that, first we're going to hear from Maggie from the admissions department, who's going to tell us a little bit about the admission requirements for this course. Hi, Maggie.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Jake and Mumtaz, for all this wonderful information. Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie, admissions officer for CE courses. The change management course is part of a continuing education under human resources. And this course will be beneficial for those leading, managing, and supporting organizational change initiatives. We guarantee that the classes are interactive. The instructor has said it. We offer it live online starting on February 2 till March 16. Again, that will be on February 2 till March 16, 2021. The webinars will be held on Tuesdays from 5 till 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This will involve 3 hours of live instruction each week. The course duration is 7 weeks with a total of 21 hours of instruction. The course registration fee is $9.95. And the good news is we have an early bird registration fee that applies when you register until December 11th. That will be up until tomorrow. You will only pay $900 registration fee for this course. And we actually have students who already registered, so it's good news. If you are 19 years old or older, you are welcome to join this and no other prerequisites for admissions. Let Ashton College help you meet your CCMP educational requirement. You will find a lot of information when you visit our website at ashtoncollege.ca and the Ashton College YouTube channel. Let us know all your inquiries by sending us an email at ceinfo@ashtoncollege.ca or call us at 604-891-1256. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. With that, we're going to open the floor to questions from the audience. Managing those questions will be Rika. Rika, do we have any questions?
Hey guys, yeah, we do have a question from Facebook. Someone is wondering, are we going to cover the role of company culture in change management? Can we leverage company culture to support change management efforts?
Yes. Culture is a very important factor in change management. You can't impart or affect change without first understanding a company's culture and way of working and how people tick. So yes, we will be covering that in the course, the relationship between the culture and how you implement and affect successful change. And yes, and we'll be leveraging that to understand how do you also, affect culture change, but how do you use it to make sure that the change that you are trying to implement is successful as well.
Excellent. Are
That
there
answer
any
the
other
question?
questions?
No, looks like that's all we have from Facebook.
All right. Well, then I have one last question, do you have any final words of advice or thoughts to share with everyone before we wrap this up?
Sure. Yeah. I'm excited to be teaching this course with Ashton. I hope that you'll join me in the new year, and think about, for the new year as developing this new skill and honing your skills in this area. It's a very in-demand industry and skill set to have. So you'll probably see it come up in a lot of places, but Ashton's offering this really differentiated and specialized program, partnering with ACMP. It's accredited and certified, so that it's something that will really accelerate your career in this area. So I'm thrilled and excited about seeing you hopefully in the classroom in February.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So that wraps up today's info session. As always, if you have questions regarding anything we talked about today, you can email us at ceinfo@ashtoncollege.ca. You can phone us at 604-891-1256, or you can use the toll-free number, which is 1-866-759-6006. And a gentle reminder, there is a special registration price right now for the Change Management Certification course, $900 instead of the regular $995, and that is good until tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great evening.